This podcast is part of the It Was a Thing on TV podcast network.
The carcass of the Simpsons empire had been picked clean. But then came help from an unexpected source.
I knew there was only one person who could reunite this troubled clan. My old fraternity brother, Willie Nelson.
I'd do anything for Kegmeister Julius, so I cooked up a phony awards show. Not again. Time saver of my ass.
Folks, it's a super episode here on the Squared Circle Time Machine, as we're going to get super with the superstars on the Superstation. Greg here with Dane, and Dane, are you ready for a super episode?
It's going to be super. A lot of superstars on the Superstation.
Yeah. It's very weird that they would say superstars, Crockett. I'm guessing that really wasn't established with Vince yet.
No.
Well, we got some current wrestling to talk to. And boy, well, I got to give an update from last week. Trey Miguel has re-signed with TNA after everything that happened in the last week.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see him. I was watching, and all of a sudden I see like the old Rascals Videotron there on, and like, oh, okay, Trey's back here.
You know what? I'm glad that everything's sorted out. I'm glad that he's back in TNA. So I just hope that this mess can be behind everybody and we can just all move on.
Move on and see what transpires next between Trey on back in TNA and the Rascals probably main eventing Collision.
Oh, yes. Hopefully they don't get banned from Collision. Because you know who might be banned from Collision soon?
Who might be?
Apparently Billy Gunn might be banned from Collision pretty soon because Dave, for some reason, decided to bury Billy Gunn.
Have we gone back to 2001 where it was cool to just shit on Billy Gunn for no apparent reason?
I guess in the basement, yeah, you guess it's cool now to bash him again. Because I'm going to read what Dave said on Observer Radio, okay? Do you want me to read what he said?
Sure, go ahead.
Billy Gunn, on his best day, isn't, actually, half the wrestler, Kyle Fletcher is today. Kyle Fletcher legitimately might be top 5 in the world. I think Billy Gunn was ever, top 200.
Oh man, now I should go check some of the PWI 500s from that period and see where Billy Gunn lays in their rankings.
Oh, you know Dave doesn't care about that shit.
Oh, of course not.
No, not unless the freaking this year's awards of PWI. Because, yeah, apparently, like, since AEW wrestlers are getting those awards, unlike the ESPN awards, which Dom won. No, that award isn't accurate, but everything else, yeah.
But even the PWI awards are kind of, because they gave Cody Male Wrestler of the Year. They gave Cody and Cena at SummerSlam Match of the Year. And then I think Mercedes Moné was Women's Wrestler of the Year, which is a total joke in itself. And then Toni Storm was Entertaining Wrestler of the Year. But big shout out to Shotzi, who got Indie Wrestler of the Year. So good for her.
Yeah, we all love Shotzi.
Yeah.
Oh, so good for her. She had a hell of a year on the Indies in 2025. Yeah. And now that Cordona's back at WWE, someone's got to take his place. So
take his place as the reigning ruler of the Indies, because it sure wasn't going to be Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh, no, because now he's in the tub, Dane.
Yeah, he's in the dub, and and feuding right away in the mid-card with Mark Briscoe over the TNT title.
So I have a question. How many matches will Tommaso Ciampa lose in 2026 for AEW? Will it be as many as Josh Alexander?
Maybe Tony will be inspired a little bit to push because we're getting an Andrade push for some unknown reason other than ladies love him, I guess.
One more thing I got to say about Ciampa. You know Kyle Fletcher's thinking to himself, ooh boy, another neck for me to break.
Oh, Jesus. Another person's career to end. I'm sure Tony's got deep pockets. I'm sure he can probably Charles Austin them afterwards.
Yeah, put him in the same rest home that Ibushi's at.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we're recording this, we're 2 days away from Saudi Blood Money Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and possibly 2 more days away from inexplicably the quick end to AJ Styles' career as well.
Fucking Gunther. Fuck. Oh, God. I hate that this is going to be a thing. Like, oh, well, we can't give him a belt, so we got to give him something else to make him a heel, a big-time heel. Oh, we're going to have him retire, everybody. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Instead of giving an 8-month-long title reign where he bores the shit out of everybody. You know what? Now I understand why Brett was pissed at him.
Seems fair. Maybe he'll also chase Pat McAfee away again.
I don't want to be like freaking Simon and Wonder Man getting upset about freaking Pat McAfee, so I'm going to move on to something else. Okay, let's get into our topic for this episode. Superstars on the Superstation. So we have this special episode of Jim Crockett Promotions NWA World Championship Wrestling on the Superstation. And this was billed as a special edition of World Championship Wrestling. And this was taped at the Omni in Atlanta on Sunday, February the 2nd of 1986. And it aired the following Friday on February 7th of 1986. So this is a 4-match taping on this episode. But we did get 3 dark matches before this special for the live crowd.
Okay. Yeah, what was the live crowd treated to that we weren't?
Oh, they got treated to start with a 15-minute Broadway between Ron Bass and the Barbarian.
I unironically would like to see that, just more so to see just how they can do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, Gorilla would say that's a main event anywhere in the country, so...
You can cut the electricity with a knife.
Oh, yeah. Hanging from the rafters. They sure were at the Omni. Okay. We have Baron Von Raschke defeating the Italian Stallion. No, he did not beat Sylvester Stallone, sadly.
Oh, that's some other local jabroni named the Italian Stallion, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And then we had Jimmy Valiant winning by DQ over Arn Anderson.
Boogie Woogie Man.
Yeah, that's a clash of styles right there between Jimmy Valiant and Arn Anderson. All right, it's time to get into the special. Now, I want to thank the YouTube uploader Classic Wrestling Stuff for posting the full special onto YouTube, because this was released in 2019 on the WWE Network as part of the Hidden Gems series on there, but it was significantly edited down from its original version on the network.
Mostly, I'm guessing a lot of the music stuff is what was edited out.
Oh, yeah, because as we open this special, we see Magnum come out on his motorcycle to Willie Nelson's On the Road Again, which is pretty nice to see Magnum on that cycle there.
When I saw Magnum on his motorcycle there in the host position of this special, I had to double check to make sure was this before or after his infamous car accident. So this is before. It's in the fall, I think, sometime that it happens.
Yeah, it's in around October. And I gotta say, it's amazing that it's 40 years later and Magnum's still with us, which is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I really need to watch that Magnum TA documentary that High Spots put out like 10 years ago. All right, but here we go. We're going to start this special here. So we're going to have the ring announcer for Jim Crockett Promotions at usually at the Greensboro Coliseum, and he's here in this one, is Dr. Tom Miller. Now, Dane, do you know anything about Dr. Tom Miller?
Not offhand, no.
I believe he was like a local radio guy, I think, in the Charlotte area. And he did a lot of the Crockett shows at the Greensboro Coliseum. If we ever do Clash of the Champions 1 sometime, actually, that is his last show he ever did for Crockett was Clash of the Champions 1. But that's like a hell of an announcing job he does on that show. So that's really a master class of ring announcing on Clash 1 if we ever get down to it. But we do have this show, so we're going to have Dr. Tom Miller introduce us to the story. And then we're going to have Magnum as the host introduce us to the special. But he's got a lady with him in this special, I believe,
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, so let's just play it right now here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Superstars on the Superstation.
I do like that they had this disco ball spinning.
Yep.
That just said Superstars on the Superstation. What did they just find like some random disco ball sitting at Techwood Drive somewhere? They had somebody shoot it?
Yeah, either that or just had some disco ball B-roll footage and stock there and said, let's just throw it in there. Plus, I also like the opening 80s graphic show we had there with the laser effect before they got the disco ball. So definitely a product of its time.
All right, let's go to Magnum.
Welcome to this very special edition of Superstars on the Superstation. This lovely young lady here sitting at my side is Linda Curry. We're going to be watching some very exciting wrestling matches tonight, and we also have a very special interview with Willie Nelson and my very good friend, American Dream Dusty Rhodes. What do you think about all this going on here tonight?
I am ecstatic. I am so excited. I'm getting more and more into the match as I go on. I bet you'd rather be down there wrestling than up here in a tuxedo, though, Magnum.
Well, I got to admit, I feel a little more comfortable, down there in the ring, but it's kind of giving me a little bit of a thrill just sitting up here with you tonight. But right now, let's take this opportunity to go.
Ooh.
For real? Ooh.
Oh. Now, Dane, I know you tried to find information about this lady and you had no luck.
Yes, I tried to Google Linda Curry on the Google machine, and I couldn't find anything relevant to her. So I'm guessing she is maybe just local Atlanta personality. I'm guessing that didn't mount to anything else outside of the ATL bubble. So
It's quite possibly. Or maybe like she's some like random person working around the Crockett office. And they just were like, Linda, you can just work this show.
Yeah.
Back up.
Yeah. Let's tease your hair up in the 80s style, as was the style of the time.
Oh, she does have some glorious 80s perm hair right here.
Yeah.
A lot of Corey Corbins went into the air and destroyed the ozone layer just for her hair that night.
Go ringside with two men that are stars in their own right here on the Superstation. I'm talking about David Crockett and Tony Schiavone.
Oh, David and Tony. Dane. I think this is our first time with Tony and David on this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, good old, look at him, Tony. Look at it, Tony.
Look at him, Tony. Look at him.
Look at him.
But I have to say, watching a lot of Tony and David on the network and over the years, really, obviously, people will go like maybe for best commentator team of the 80s. Some will go Gorilla and Bobby. Some will go Jesse and Vince. Mm-hmm. But for my money, this is, I think, the quintessential commentary team of the 80s.
So I could see that as an argument as well, since the Superstation got just as wide of berth as everything else with Vince was putting out at the time. So I could see that as a good argument.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think in my end, the East End on Long Island, we did not get TBS until 94. Because I think, as I said in the last episode, my introduction to David Crockett and this era of WCW was the all-nighter special that aired in January of 95. So that was kind of a cool thing to see all the old Crockett stuff from like 86, 87.
Yeah, seeing David Crockett there, and I think Gordon Sully was there too on that all-nighter, because I remember you sent me the link for it, and I watched a bit of it, and I think I remember Bobby Heenan kind of made a nice little quip about that Gordon Sully put him to sleep. That's why he was so tired during the recording.
And also, for some reason, the special, Chris Cruz is in the background wearing a Vader mask.
Like the jockstrap mask or like the proper elephant smoke mask?
No, he's wearing the Vader jockstrap mask, Chris Cruz. And it's like, I don't get it. And like, nobody's acknowledging he's there. I'm like, okay. That's one of the things that like weirded me out at 10 years old. It's like, why is Chris Cruz in the background wearing a Vader mask? All right, let's just get to Tony and David here.
Ladies and gentlemen, like Tom Miller said, welcome to the Superstars on the Superstation, special edition of World Championship Wrestling. I'm David Crockett, and Tony, we have the matches. The matches are here. The dream matches that all you fans have written in. Thousands upon thousands of cards and letters came in.
Wait, thousands of cards and letters. These are the matches the viewers on WTBS wanted to see.
Thousands of letters. This is almost like a fans vote their choice thing.
Yeah, well, I guess they had to actually mail it out. This is like a better version of like Coliseum Video, where Coliseum Video, they'd pick like one random fan that would say, "Dear Sean Mooney in Coliseum Video, I would like to see a random match between Wreck-It Ronnie Garvin and the Warlord." Like a match like nobody out of their mind would think of.
And we tabulated, and we've got them.
David, we have 4 matches for our fans here tonight. And, you know, of all across the country, people wanted to see, well, I want to see Ric Flair and Ron Garvin. I want to see the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express for those World Tag Team titles. They want to see
it so easily.
They want to see the Russians against the Road Warriors. They want to see Dusty against Tully. Well, we got them right for you here tonight. Let us tell you, though, it's TV, one fall, 20-minute time limit for all of these matches.
That's right, and that makes it harder because they're going to go all out for that 20 minutes.
And, of course,
20 minutes, Dane. So it's a set time limit for all these matches.
I wonder if that will come into play.
Maybe it will. Well, we already saw that Ron Bass and the Barbarian went 15 minutes.
Yeah, so it's quite possible to go 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
the last match, which will be Ric Flair going up against Ron Garvin for the World Heavyweight title, will be television time remaining. Yes. Excitement Plus here tonight, special edition, Superstars on the Superstation.
And Ron Garvin has Ric Flair's number.
Okay, standing by in the dressing room, in the Rock and Roll Express's dressing room, is Bob Caudle. Let's go to Bob Caudle at this time.
Okay, so we're going to go to Bob Caudle, and he's with the Rock and Roll Express, who are the reigning NWA World Tag Team Champions.
And thank you, Tony and David. And we're here in the dressing room with the World Tag Team Champions, the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, these youngsters have been World Tag Team Champions for some time now, have defended them against a number of opponents, but they're getting dressed now, preparing to go out and do battle in what could be one of the toughest battles of their career against the Midnight Express, who will have with him their manager, Jim Cornette. Now, these two young men have risen to the very height of their sport in just a short period of time. We'll be back to tell you more about these two outstanding superstars in just a moment, right after we take this time out.
Okay, I do like the fancy graphics they have for this special right here.
They went all out for this, it seems.
Oh, yeah. It's like they put this lace version of the moon right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Earth. And then there's in red letters, special edition. Oh, I do like the graphic right here. It says Dream Match.
The Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express.
Yes. Now, I should note that this version of the Midnight Express is the one with Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, which is actually good because I don't think I've seen a lot of the Condrey-Eaton version of the Midnights.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Has the Road Warriors scaffold... Now, is that 86, the scaffold match with Road Warriors Midnights?
I'm not sure. I thought it was 87.
It's 86, because 86 is Night of the Skywalkers.
Oh, okay.
Jim hasn't had the famous incident with...
Yeah.
where Bubba loses him in the lights.
Yeah.
Fans, we want to tell you more about the Rock and Roll Express. The first time now that they won the World Tag Team Championship was on July 8th, 1985, when they defeated the Russians Ivan Koloff and Crusher Khrushchev.
Has Ricky and Robert, why are they still tying their boots?
Maybe it takes a while to tie up all those laces.
Yeah, but I think we've gotten back from probably like a 3-4 minute commercial break. They're still tying their boots?
Yeah, or either that or they called to cut and they just stopped and waited for the commercial break to end.
Well, actually, this is a taped special, so
yeah,
so they could have just went like, cut. All right, do it over, Bob.
In a memorable battle. Right now, let's go back and watch some of that action between the Russians and the Rock and Roll Express, July 8th, 1985.
Okay, so we did see some highlights of the title match, which was cut off of this particular version on YouTube. So so if you were watching the original special, you would have gotten that. So
yeah, that's I think one of the weird edits that probably carried over too from outside, because it was just kind of weird. They said they were gonna show highlights from that match, and then all of a sudden we jump cut to Jim Cornette in the ring getting ready to introduce the Midnights.
Although I do appreciate it on this version that they have the the music from the Midnight Express movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. It's not the same one on the network or Peacock or Netflix or whatever over the years. They have it dubbed. It just does not work.
Nope.
Okay, well, I do have a Scott review of this match, okay? So he did review this back when it was on Hidden Gems in 2019 on the network. So go to Scott here for his review. Kicking it off with a bang. I, for one, am sick of the R&R ducking the Midnights, and now they finally get their shot. This will probably blow your mind given my well-documented taste in wrestling and personal history, but I have never had the opportunity to see this particular match before. The MX attacks the start and tosses Robert, then slingshots him back in the ring and puts the boots to him. They try the same thing to Ricky, but he slingshots them to the floor in a great spot, and the R&R clean house in the ring with a meeting of the minds via atomic drop. The Midnights bail for advice from Jim Cornette. That advice: if you're going to do weird stuff with a banana, for the love of God, make sure there's no cameras around. And I bet you thought I'd go for the racist angle. Oh my God!
Stop. I see. At least I thought the banana thing was like an urban myth, so I could at least excuse it. But no, I thought,
Look, we have enough troubles right now in 2026. We don't want to add more fuel to the fire here.
Yeah, at least you could have mentioned him slapping the shit out of Santino for corpsing during a Boogeyman segment, or the fact that he pulled a gun on Brock Lesnar because he kind of miscalculated a spot with his wife.
Oh God, I don't want to go into. I thought we were going to bring up how pissed he'd get at fucking Russ McCullough.
Yeah.
Oh, that piece of shit. I've been listening to episodes of on Dutch's podcast, Dutch Mantel's podcast, where he talks about horror stories about Russ McCullough. And oh my God. All right, let's get back to Scott here. Back in the ring, the champs double team Bobby, but he tosses Ricky to the floor again and then charges and gets backdropped onto the concrete. These poor guys could use some pretty blue mats out there tonight. Well, you know what? I bet you Bill Watts somewhere is thinking, nah, those wrestlers with no mats.
I didn't need no mats when I took all those bumps back in '64. They sure as hell don't either.
No. Back in the ring, Ricky fights off Condrey, and they take him back to the face corner and go to work on the leg. Okay, I don't know what the deal with the master tape is here, but it's skipping frames like a PC game with a bad graphics card running at what looks like 20 frames per second instead of 30. Hopefully it's a temporary glitch. Ricky takes Dennis down and ties up the leg, but Condrey escapes, then hits a knee into Ricky's gut, which injures himself. No! Robert goes back to the knee again, and Ricky comes off the top with a knee onto Condrey's knee. And Dennis finally scrambles away and brings Eaton back in. Eaton slugs away in the corner, but walks into a suplex from Ricky, and the R&R double team him in their corner as well. And then Robert takes a slingshot into our Condrey headbutt on the apron, and we take a break. However, the quote-unquote break in reality was just a cut in the tape match. So we come back in exactly the same place as we left. Tremendous! Just magic editing there, JCP right there. They could have done the freaking trick on freaking the Dukes of Hazzard where it's like where it looks like the cars are about to collide, but nope, turns out it was a cheap camera trick.
Looks like them rock and roll boys better start playing for wings or make sure that they get over that jump.
The MX continue to work on Robert, and Bobby goes up with the Alabama jam, which gets 2. Dennis tries an abdominal stretch, but Robert escapes with a hip toss for 2. And then Bobby goes up with a flying knee drop, and David Crockett has a damn heart attack. Condrey with a short clothesline for 2. They're putting the beats on Robert here, and it's tremendous. Ricky gets flustered and comes in, but that allows the MX to use Cornette's belt and smack Robert around with it. Oh, God! Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that's so horrible. Fucking beating Robert with his belt. God. Bobby with the chin lock to finally slow it down a bit 12 minutes in, and they cheat and switch off on that for a bit. This makes Ricky even madder, and that allows Bobby to come in with a flying elbow onto Robert's throat, and Condrey gets 2 off that. Back to a chin lock, and Robert fights out, but he goes to the wrong corner because he's a googly-eyed freak. Sorry, I'm getting all caught up in the match here. They hold him in the corner, and Eaton gets a neck breaker for 2 and maintains chin lock control. But Robert fights back with a sunset flip on Eaton for 2. Condrey gets another cheap shot and keeps him in the corner and follows with a backbreaker to set up the rocket launcher. But it misses, and it's hot fucking tag Ricky Morton. Crossbody for Eaton gets 2, and it's breaking loose in Tulsa. No, it's in Atlanta, Scott. But the ref is wiped out on a double drop kick. Ricky goes after Cornette, and David is losing his mind. But Condrey waffles Ricky with a tennis racket, and Eaton lands on top for the pin. And their one and only NWA World Tag Team titles at 1728. These guys put me in my happy place, and I could watch this stuff all day, even though they had a million matches together. But they keep finding new ways to keep it fresh. 4 1/4 stars. Ricky taking the racket shot is a thing of beauty. Scott says hopefully we'll also get the Philly rematch where they switch the titles back someday. And I don't know if we ever did or not.
Not 100% sure if we did.
Well, all right, let's go back to Magnum and Linda here.
You know, I can't think of a more devastating blow to have been struck the wrestling world to have the Midnight Express of all the people, out of all the people that the Rock and Roll defended those World's Heavyweight titles against, to have them with the help of that Jim Cornette take the World's Tag Team titles. It's just almost more than I can put in words.
It was amazingly exciting. I was amazed at how the fans support who they're really for, Magnum. I mean, it's the fans have so much energy, and they seem to really support who they're for. They really yell at the people they're not for. It's amazing how they're really into the match so much.
Such stellar analysis there, Dane.
God, she makes Susan St. James seem like Gordon Solly.
Well, Dane, we're only 2 months away from Susan St. James at WrestleMania 2.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Look out, George.
George! Pay attention, George! Oh. You know, every time I go to a card show at Hofstra University, I'm right across the street from the Nassau Coliseum. Every time I look at the Nassau Coliseum, I always think, that's where Susan St. James said, uh-oh, 50,000 times on WrestleMania 2.
Well, it's always the fans that help bring the best out of us. I know the Rock and Roll are real down right now. I'll tell you what, we're getting ready to go to a break right now. But when we come back, we're going to have an interview with the new World Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Express.
Oh, we're going to have an interview, Dane, with the new World Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Express. But before we get to that, we have a promo, a commercial for the Starrcade 85 VHS cassette.
Wow.
Yeah, set to the music of Frank Stallone's Far From Over from the Staying Alive soundtrack.
Wow, that's a interesting cut.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, Dave, this tape is $39.95 plus $5 postage and handling. P.O. Box 3167, Ogden, Utah, 84409. Or you call 1-800-453-6606 and allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Why Ogden, Utah, of all places?
I'm guessing maybe that's where the tape was manufactured.
Okay, well, that would make sense because I don't know, unless Mormons were big JCP fans.
I don't think Turner has their home video division yet. I want to say maybe like 89, 88, 89-ish they begin their home video division, I think.
Okay.
And then I think eventually that, of course, Turner Home Entertainment, that gets absorbed into Warner Home Video, and all the later WCW stuff gets released through them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get $39.95. You can watch that Magnum Tully cage match all you want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, now let's go backstage to Bob Caudle with Jim Cornette and the new NWA Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Express.
Fans, here we are with the new World Tag Team Champions.
Are we the greatest?
The Midnight Express, Jim Cornette.
I'm so excited. I told everybody it would happen, and it came true. The prophecy came true. This is the greatest tag team that's ever been.
Bobby's on the ground, and Dennis is like, "Hey, Bobby, we won the belts.
We won the belts, Bobby. Wake up.
Wake up, sleepyhead. We won."
In the history of professional wrestling, rock and roll, we beat you right in the middle of the ring, in front of all your fans yelling and screaming for you. They still couldn't support you enough. We got the belts, rock and roll, just like I said would happen. We beat you right in the middle of the ring. We beat you fair and square. And honestly, and you know, they said rock and roll was here to stay. Well, I'm glad we didn't pull up no chairs because they didn't stay long. You know what I mean, Bob Caudle?
I know what you mean.
Now, all the promoters, Jim Crockett Promotions, everybody is going to be coming to me to contract for the services of the greatest tag team ever in professional wrestling. Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby, the Midnight Express. Bobby's okay. Bobby, just a momentary diversion. Bobby.
Now I just want to describe for the audio listeners. So Dennis was kind enough to get a chair so the exhausted Bobby Eaton could have the good fortune to sit down.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of like ragdolling him a bit, almost like, where's Big Bubba to help you out here with pulling off Weekend at Bernie's there with Bobby?
Has Big Bubba debuted yet? Has Ray Traylor come into the company yet?
I don't know. I don't think so yet.
Yeah, I think maybe Bubba comes in maybe sometime in the spring, maybe of 86.
Okay.
Because I know we said he's at Starrcade, and that's Thanksgiving of 86, so he's definitely in the company by then.
We are here. Here you go, Dennis. Take a look at the greatest combination in professional sports today. And now, Mama, I did it. I am the greatest manager in all of wrestling, Mama. And you're proud of me, just like all the other people.
Dennis put the belt in front of Jim, and he was like, "Ah!"
Bobby's just holding his belt there, still kind of selling that he's like exhausted.
This is one of the things I love. I love the fact that we got this version of the team in this episode because I don't think I've seen much of Dennis and Bobby together.
No.
So, other than probably the Starrcade match, this is, I mean, fun seeing them together. So, obviously they're together until probably 87-ish when Condrey leaves and they get Stan to replace Dennis.
Yeah. Then we got the Stan and Bobby feud with Dennis and I forget the other guys.
Randy Rhodes.
Randy Rhodes with debuting Paul Heyman as their manager.
Oh, yeah. Eventually, I think we might, considering maybe sometime near the end of the year doing the episode where Paulie and the original Midnights come in, because that is a fucking great episode. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the first episode of World Championship Wrestling after the sale to Turner.
Okay.
So that think the original Midnights and Paulie were the first people hired under Turner. So when they bought the company from Crockett, but yeah.
Watch it all over the world. I'm proud of you, Bob Caudle, and you're proud of me too, aren't you? Tell the truth, Bob. Rock and roll was here to stay. What do you think, Dennis? You gave them your best shot. Time overdue, baby. Look at here, the world champions. Baby, this is it, Jimmy. We have made it. They gave them their best shot. They gave them the best shot that they could give, but they couldn't do the job. You couldn't put these men down, Rock and Roll, and I always said you were the only team in professional wrestling that ever even had the slightest chance of taking these men out. We beat you, we finished you, and the master plan is over. You were humiliated in the public eye.
Fans understandably very excited. The new World Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Express, now to Magnum TA.
You know, when you...
All right, so we're going to go back to Magnum here, but what a fucking great interview that was.
Oh, yes. I mean, problematic as Cornette is today, he was quite the master of the gab.
Oh, yeah, probably him and Bobby were probably like the top two managers in the 80s at their peak at cutting promos. Actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's... do you remember when ROH put out a series of shoot interviews on DVD?
Yeah.
I believe there's one with Bobby and Cornette on there.
Okay.
I have to track that down. Okay, let's go back to Magnum and Linda.
You know, when you talk about tag team wrestling, Linda, and when you think about devastating teams, you think about two teams right off the bat. There's no hesitation. You think about the Road Warriors and you think about the Russians. And the whole wrestling world knew that that collision was inevitable. We knew that sometime down the line they were going to get together. Well, they did run into each other, and the Russians were the first one to get a cheap shot in on the Road Warriors. We got a VTR clip here. Let's let everybody see exactly what happened when that collision did take place.
Well, if that collision did take place, I hope they don't get banned from Collision, Magnum.
Yeah.
Let me play the... because this clip did not get edited out of this version.
No, this one didn't, but I'm kind of grateful it didn't because it helped set up like how come the Road Warriors and the Russians are bad at each other.
Yeah, so let's play it. Also, the Koloffs and Crusher Khrushchev, they just smacked the absolute shit out of Animal here with that chain.
Yeah.
Dear Christ.
Wow. I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of Russian chain match coming down the pike.
Yeah, maybe.
I tell you, Magnum, looking down at those people, they are so very, very powerful. It was magnificent, the power that was emanating from all four of them. They looked to me as if they were very evenly matched, the two teams.
Well, you know, these men don't rely a great deal on scientific moves. They are both people that generate from their power, from their strength, from their work in the gym. And I think that's what's causing this dynamic collision to be inevitable.
Speaking of collision, I think we have another VTR of a particular collision. Let's look at that.
Oh, so we do have another pre-tape of a confrontation between the Road Warriors and the Russians. So I'll play it right here.
Okay.
And yeah, they're just beating the absolute ever-loving shit out of each other. Oh, what the fuck is this? Is it Nikita? He's beating the shit out of Paul Ellering.
Yeah.
And then what the hell is Paul Ellering wearing right here?
Looks like some kind of I don't know, almost seemed like a kimono of some sort.
Looks like something you got at like the Cobra Kai gym or something.
Yeah.
All Ellering. And now, the dastardly Russians, they got the chain and they're choking the shit out of Hawk. And oh no, look at that, Dane. Oh no!
I don't think that's PG.
No. Oh my God. This was 2026. We'd have like pissed off sponsors and everything.
Oh yeah.
This could be like an episode of AEW Dynamite in 2026 for all we know.
Needs more blood showing up.
Yeah, Tony Khan. Needs more blood. Okay, I want to get to Dr. Tom Miller here introducing both of these teams because, I mean, we know about the Zig Man. We love the Zig Man and how he introduces teams. But I want you to get the feel for Dr. Tom Miller right here. So let's get the Dr. Tom Miller experience right here.
The Dr. Tom experience.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next event of the evening is a tag team match. One fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first in the corner to my left from Russia with a combined wrestling weight of 251 kilos. Co-holders of the World Six-Man Tag Team Championship, Ivan Koloff and Nikita Koloff. Their opponents from Chicago, Illinois, with a combined wrestling weight of 580 pounds, accompanied by their manager, trainer, and advisor, Paul Ellerling. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the Road Warriors.
Oh, yes. It's getting down here, Dane.
Oh, yeah, because this is prime Road Warrior stuff, not like the last time when we saw them here on the podcast, which was back at Capital Carnage, where he had all the sad stuff there with Suicidal Hawk and Draws pushing him to his death and Paul Ellering blabbering on about Mr. and shooting horses.
It's the era of the web.
Look at them, Jim Ross.
Look at them, Jim Ross. They are twins. I can only program one mind. All right, let me get to Scott. Crazy that this show was on free TV in 86. Holy shit, I wish I got TBS at the time. Nikita pounds on Animal in the corner and gets nothing, then charges and lands in a bear hug. Animal with a slam, but he misses a leg drop and then no-sells his own missed move. Hawk comes in and also no-sells, but Ivan dodges a charge, slows him down a bit. But then Hawk goes right back with a shoulder breaker and big boot and follows with a press slam for 2. Animal comes in and drops an elbow on Ivan for 2 as the Baron heads down to ringside. Oh, yeah, Baron Von Raschke's heading down to ringside, Dane.
Oh, yes. Fresh off his victory in the dark match.
Oh, yeah, over the Italian Stallion.
Yeah.
Not that they'll acknowledge that, freaking
nope.
Tony and David.
Tony and David, nope.
Meanwhile, Hawk bumps into Nikita on the apron, and the Russians go to work in the corner. Ivan chokes Hawk out with a chain and drops a leg for 2, as Hawk still won't sell. Christ, it's like wrestling the AI characters from WWF No Mercy on Nintendo 64. More choking in the commie corner, but Hawk comes back with a shoulder tackle, and Baron comes in and drops an elbow for Hawk for 2. Everyone's brawling, and this goes nowhere. But Nikita trips up Hawk, and Baron just comes in for the DQ at 6:56. Well, that was a steep drop in quality after the opener, especially Nikita. Dud. The Russian-German coalition goes after Ellering, but he makes his own comeback, and then the Warriors finish the job for him and chase the heels off. Somewhere in here, Ivan is bleeding because Dusty.
I mean, it was like, yeah, it was a bit of a letdown compared to the fast-paced moves that we saw like in the Midnights and Rock and Roll match there. So, but I'd like to see more of this, actually, just to see if we get some kind of proper blow-off to this feud.
Yeah. All right, let me get to Scott here because he says right here, Magnum TA acting as host of the show chats with someone who could be Ricky Bobby for all I know, or care, dressed like Disco Inferno's proposed TNA gimmick, where he would be plastered with sponsors and then lose them on a weekly basis. The running gag. Hold on. Can I pack any more references to that sentence? I don't think so. Oh, okay. So let me go back to schedule. Carrying on, we haven't talked or thought about or paid tribute to the genius of Dusty Rhodes yet on this show. So Magnum decides to remedy this by talking about how Dusty is his mentor and best friend, and then throws it to a clip of Dusty apparently making a movie with Willie Nelson or hanging out at the movie set or whatever. The movie is a remake of Stagecoach with Willie, Chris Christopherson, and Johnny Cash, which sounds awesome, but apparently was not. I bet there were some drugs being used on the set, though. Just a hunch. I literally have no idea what purpose Dusty was supposed to be serving there, but I've learned not to question. The answer might lie in question asked to Willie about Dusty doing walk-ons during Willie's concerts, where Willie just notes you can't really stop Dusty from walking onto your concert if he wants to be there. That might have been a subtle way of hinting that Dusty wasn't really welcome on the set, or just kind of showed up there with a camera crew and Tony Schiavone ready to conduct an interview. Oh, my God.
This won't be Willie's last foray into the world of wrestling, as I think he was one of the celebrity spokespeople for the XWF.
Oh, yes, because that was on the Attitude Era podcast review of the XWF DVDs. Yeah. Wasn't Knobs with him?
Brian Knobs, Jimmy Hart, and Willie Nelson are all talking up the XWF.
Man, what if 3 people who have never been in my kitchen? Brian Knobs, Jimmy Hart, and Willie Nelson. I met 2 of them, and my aunt's met the 3rd. Do you want to know who the 3rd is? Hint, it's not even for Brian or Jimmy. Okay, well, this was cut out on the network version, I believe. So let's get into the interviews with the fans, because you want to hear what the fans have to say, right, Dave?
Oh, yeah. Like, hopefully this lot is a little bit more intelligent than the DNA fans we had there. I want to see the sexy wrestlers get all sexy.
I don't want to see any of this kid stuff. I want to see the wrestlers get concussions and brain damage. But it will not be as good as that kid at SummerSlam 92 who said the British Bulldog's going to win, whether he wants to or not.
Nope. That is the peak of fan interviews.
Oh, yes. The British Bulldog's going to win, whether he wants to or not. Because he's bizarre.
So I'm bizarre.
Wrestling fans come to these events by the thousands. They come from all walks of life and are unique one from the other. Tonight we're going to be talking to some of the fans to find out who their favorite wrestlers are and what draws them to events like this.
Cause I like the Rock and Roll Express.
Is that the only reason?
Yeah.
What do you get out of wrestling?
Watch them. First time I've ever been there.
Oh, yeah?
I just watch it at home with my husband. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm a word processor.
Yeah. How long have you been interested in wrestling?
About a couple months.
What's your favorite wrestler?
Magnum TA.
What is youth development centers?
Okay, how long have you been interested in wrestling?
About 15 years.
Okay, who's your favorite wrestler?
I don't know, I got so many of them.
What do you get out of wrestling?
Just the enjoyment of seeing them beat up on each other, I reckon.
I do not want Ric Flair to win. I came here to see him get his by Ron Garvin, and the fist is stone. I'm tired of that loudmouth shooting his face off every week on TV.
What do you do for a living?
I play.
You play?
Tell me who your favorite wrestler is.
Ric Flair.
The Rock and Roll Express.
Buster Road, Magnum TA.
Ronnie Garvin.
Magnum TA.
Road Warriors.
The Russians.
Well, what about your favorite wrestler? Why is he really your favorite one?
Well, Ric Flair gives the best interviews I've ever seen. And when he goes, woo, like that, you know, just like yourself, when you go home and shut the door, you're thinking of Rick. Like all the women here are, probably.
I work at Morty Electric Company in Huntsville, Alabama.
All the way from Huntsville?
Yes.
Just for this match?
Yeah.
I'll just pause this here. This woman right here, I paused it to 5011. This woman's hair right here.
What is going on with that hair there?
I don't know what the hell's going on with this hair design for this lady. I'm like, who styled that hair, ma'am?
Yeah.
NG, no good.
Yes.
Oh, who's your favorite wrestler?
Dusty Rhodes.
I like to watch them beat each other. I love it. And why is Dusty your favorite?
He's a dream. How long have you been interested in wrestling?
Oh, about a year.
A year? Just since Magnum's come on the scene?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess Magnum's your favorite wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why do you come to wrestling?
To see Magnum.
The only reason?
That's the only reason. But he's not here tonight. I didn't know that.
He's hosting the show tonight.
Oh, my God!
Like, well, man, lady, you're gonna have like all the opportunity you want to see Magnum on Friday night when this airs.
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's great. Look, Magnum.
So she flashed his picture on the program to the camera.
She was so excited that knowing that she was going to see Magnum TA.
Not live in the ring, but at least she'll get to see him on TV when it airs.
Yeah, exactly.
This was like a real good mix of various people as to why they like wrestling. The one surprise I have is that little girl whose favorite is the Russians. Like, what?
What? Well, I'm sure, I mean, it's always, I know, reading up a little bit on the history of Lucha Libre, and you know, have like your Rudo section there where you have like the fans that are the big heel fans. So I could see that there could be the odds heel supporter there, because I mean, hell, that one guy there like pretty much sold me on the reason to hate Ric Flair is the reason that he likes Ric Flair so much.
Dane, I have this pause at 53:42 here. Now, I have it at the interview segment with Tony, Dusty, and Willie. And so Dusty and Willie are dressed a lot alike here. They got the buttoned-up shirts here. And what would you say Tony looks like right here?
Tony looks like he's wearing just a business white shirt and black slacks.
He looks like a created character in a video game next to the two of them.
Yeah.
Like in a weird-ass cutscene where it's like...
Yeah, when your custom character makes it into the cutscene.
So, okay, now we're going to go into our next segment here. And our next segment is going to be the match for the national heavyweight title between Tully Blanchard and Dusty Rhodes. Now, let's see here. Dusty is the national champion at this time. So we're going to have this big match for 20 minutes. Oh, Dean, you know we spotted at 102.53 in the time code?
Who did you spot?
Oh, guess who's taking pictures at ringside, Dane? Bill Apter.
Oh, our boy Bill Apter.
Yeah, taking pictures for PWI probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got Dusty defending the national title against Tully. So here's the Scott review for the match. Damn, we get this blow-off too. Baby Doll had just turned on Tully and joined with Big Dust, perhaps because he promised to keep her in fur coats and hairspray. Well, eventually that comes to backfire on Dusty, because we know Baby Doll had some pictures of Dusty. And we never did get to find out what those pictures were.
No, we didn't.
Now, hold on a second, Dane. Do you remember when 2 years ago after WrestleMania, how Rock gave Cody like something in his hand and he said, don't ask what it is, okay? You know what it is. You know what I thought it was, Dane?
What was it?
It was a USB flash drive with Baby Doll's pictures of Dusty on it. Finally get to pay that off after 37 years.
37 years later.
All right, let's get back to Scott here. We take a break off the lockup, and this time they actually insert the World Championship Wrestling commercial bumper. We're back with Dusty working the knee in Dusty fashion, namely laying on the knee and occasionally bending it upwards. Dusty wraps the knee around the post while Tony talks about how Flair and his buddies are calling themselves the Four Horsemen. Yeah, that'll put butts in seats. This Four Horsemen, Dane.
Four Horsemen?
Like in the Bible?
Yeah.
That won't last.
No. It doesn't have the long drawing power of, like, say, the Three Faces of Fear.
Or better yet, I bet it doesn't draw money like the Don Callis family today.
God.
Or even better, the Death Riders. Or are they feuding with each other right now, the Death Riders?
I think so, yes. Yeah, because I think also somehow Moxley might be turning face, I guess, somehow. But I guess we'll know for sure that when he gets boob suffocated by Marina Shafir, that it's truly over.
Dusty goes up and lands on his bad foot, which, might I remind you, is not reinforced by his special cowboy boot tonight due to orders of that fascist Bob Geigel until he goes to work on the leg. Oh, fucking goddamn you, Bob Geigel. Who do you think you are, Stanley Blackbird? This is ideal for Dusty, who can utilize his prime skill set of laying on the mat and selling, while no doubt planning the next few weeks of TV at the same time he's naming pay-per-view shows and working on some lyrics for Willie Nelson. Tully with a figure four, which Dusty reverses, and he hits a belly-to-belly for what would no doubt be the finish, but JJ takes the ref. Dusty goes after him and lands on the floor, but Baby Doll helps him back in, and Dusty makes a comeback. Suplex gets an apparent pin, but JJ puts the foot on the rope, and the match must continue. Oh, God damn it, Tommy Young. Why do you not pay attention to fucking JJ Dillon being a fucking dick outside of the ring? What human being could have kicked out of a suplex, says Scott. Tully slugs away as the time is running out, like Dusty running to the buffet before they run out of fried chicken and close the doors. Oh, for fuck's sake, Scott. Oh, fat shaving off. Don't fat shave Big Dust.
Yeah. I mean, we all remember that infamous picture of you, Scott, with your first book there. You weren't exactly on the Buddy Rose blow-away diet yourself there, so.
Scott says Rhodes makes a comeback. Some sort of axe handle thing gets Sue. Dusty slugs away in the quarter as they leisurely stumble towards the obvious finish, and JJ trips Dusty to put Tully on top for two. Dusty goes after JJ and comes up with a new gimmick for that Ray Trailer guy on the way out to the ring. And then back in for a Boston Crab on Tully as time expires at 20 minutes. JJ and Tully steal the belt from Dusty, which is fine because he didn't actually win it in the ring anyway. And we are left to wait anxiously for the rematches around the house show circuit. This was every Dusty Tully match you have ever seen in your life, star and a half.
Maybe they had better, maybe they had worse, but I thought it was all right.
An all right match for what it's worth. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you weren't going to have one of them pin each other on TV right here. You don't want to have them job here on free TV.
No. It was a different market strategy at the time because it was more to draw people to the houses rather than give stuff away on free TV.
But hold on a second, Dane. I got this paused at 1:20:42. Look at the look on Baby Doll's face here as they're attending to Dusty right here. Oh.
The look of concern.
Oh, look of concern right there. Oh, hold on a second. Hi, Teddy Long, wearing a nice gold gym t-shirt. So nice of you to help Dusty with Tommy Young there, Teddy. I thought it was a decent match, but I mean, it could have been better, but what can you do?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're going to go with Magnum here, and he's with Jim Crockett Jr. for an interview. So let's go to that.
It's a real pleasure to have with me here, the president of Jim Crockett Promotions, Jim Crockett Jr.
Thank you, Magnum. It's a pleasure being here tonight.
Well, 1985 was certainly a very big year for Jim Crockett Promotions. We saw a great many events that will be institutionalized, and I'm sure we'll see again in 1986. The Starrcade events were spectacular. The Great American Bash was certainly one that really stood out in my mind, and I'm sure in the minds of the fans, with the Bunkhouse Stampedes.
The first annual Bunkhouse Stampede was very special to us. It took 10 days, but we found out who the toughest man in wrestling was.
Well, I can certainly attest to the fact that it took a lot of wind out.
Oh, yeah, because we're seeing highlights of the Bunkhouse Stampede right here. Now, Dane, just remember, in another 2 years, they're going to put this shit on pay-per-view in front of the most southern crowd you can think of. A crowd in Nassau County.
All in an attempt to try and compete against The Survivor Series, I believe it was.
No, the first Royal Rumble was that
Oh,
night.
yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah, because they put that on pay-per-view, and Vince was like, I'll show you, pal. I'm going to put a special against you guys on USA Network. You know, it's a good thing after WrestleMania 4 and Clash of the Champions that the cable companies got together, both companies, and said, guys, stop fucking doing this shit.
Don't make us choose.
No, don't do that.
Out of a lot of people's sales, it's real easy to talk about who the baddest man around is, but when you throw 20 men in the ring at one time, you certainly found out. Now, I know your father, Jim Crockett Sr., had a great deal to do with revolutionizing professional wrestling. Some 50 years now, y'all have been producing wrestling shows. You've been bringing the top wrestling talent all over the world now. And I realize that there's been a great many events, but I know there's a very special event that you want to bring for 1986, and that will be the Memorial Cup.
That's right. This is our 51st year of promoting professional wrestling. The National Wrestling Alliance Board of Directors has honored a man that I think is the greatest man in the world. That's my father. They have sanctioned the first tag team tournament by the National Wrestling Alliance, and they have honored us and my father by calling it the Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup.
So we haven't paused here at 122.49, and this is the Crockett Cup, Dane.
Oh, yes.
50 years, 1935, 1986, and on the bottom, it says on the trophy there, Jim Crockett Promotions Incorporated. And I believe the first Crockett Cup's in full on the WCW YouTube channel.
I'll have to go and check that out because I'm intrigued by this idea of a tag team tournament.
Oh, yeah, because I know they did it in 86, they did in 87, they did in 88. And then I know they brought it back when Corgan started up his version of the NWA. And I think 2019, because I do have the DVD from the 2019 Crockett Cup. So
it'll be a one-night tournament with teams from all over the world, and we're certainly hoping that Charlotte, North Carolina will be the home of the first Jim Crockett Memorial Cup.
Well, I can certainly understand that, but I realize that the arenas all over the country are right now putting in their bids to have this event in their part of the country. I think we have a special interview right now with the people in New Orleans at the Superdome because they would like to have this very prestigious event right there in New Orleans.
Okay, all right, so we're going to go to New Orleans, and I think it's Joel Watts right here from Mid-South here who's going to be interviewing some woman from the Superdome committee who's playing to bid for the Crockett Cup. And spoiler alert, Dane, they do win the Crockett Cup bid.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Superdome does win the Crockett Cup. I do know that because I think that's the official announcements on the very first episode of Watts' UWF right after it becomes the UWF from Mid-South, which I think we might have to review that once, eventually down the line, because I want to do like the last episode of Mid-South and then the first episode of Watts' UWF just to cover that transition. All right, so let's go to Joel Watts.
Bob, it's a pleasure to be here at the Superdome. I know you and your staff are just as excited about bringing the first annual Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup Tag Team Tournament to the Superdome as we here at Mid-South are. And with $1 million as the purse and with all the international stars included, we feel that this is going to be on par with some of the greatest sporting events of our time.
You can tell this was totally not taped in the same room, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Superdome guy, we're going to play the tape of what Joel Watts said, and then you can just say whatever you want.
Yeah, just say whatever you want and look unimpressed by whatever you're talking about.
Well, we agree, and anybody that's in the facility business knows the reputation of Bill Watts and Jim Crockett and the wrestling events that they promote and stage in the country. And we're looking forward to it, and from preliminary talks with your people and the Crockett people, we think that this will be an athletic event on par with any in the country. We're very pleased that you're considering using the Superdome, and we intend to be in there bidding against all the other facilities in the country who would also.
It's just not even B-roll. Joel just nodding. This is like something that I would have probably edited together back when I was doing TV production around the early to mid 2000s.
Be interested in hosting that event. We at the Superdome feel that we have the finest sports facility in the world. Most recently playing host to the Super Bowl 20. That was the third Super Bowl to be held here.
Now, Dane, I should mention Super Bowl 20 has just been held here because, as I mentioned, this special for the Superstars on the Superstation was taped on February 2nd. So Super Bowl 20 would have been the week before. And if you go to It Was a Thing on TV on the Mothership podcast, we did cover the halftime show on It Was a Thing of Super Bowl 20 with Up With People. And let's just say that wasn't good. Oh, it was fucking terrible. It was so bad that the next day, Pete Rozelle said, I'm never fucking inviting Up With People again. Never again. Just like Jack Tunney would say 4 years later with the possibility of a Hogan Warrior rematch. Never again.
And we have another one scheduled in 1990. Also, we annually host the Sugar Bowl, the Bayou Classic, the world's largest carnival celebration indoors. We have held championship boxing matches as well as other spectacular championship wrestling matches. We certainly feel that the only place in the world to have the inaugural Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup Tag Team Championship Tournament would be in the Louisiana Superdome, and we certainly intend to be in there bidding against the other facilities in the country.
Well, Bob, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Mid-South would like to wish you a very happy 1986, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with the Superdome and its fine staff and bringing the greatest sporting events in the world right here to New Orleans.
Jim Crockett, it's been a real pleasure having you here, talking to you, talking about all the accomplishments in the past and all the things we have to look forward to in the future for 1986. I want to thank you for being here. And I think we want to go ringside right now with Tony Schiavone, who's got a very special guest down there, Gaylord Perry.
Oh, holy shit, Dave. Tony Schiavone's interviewing legendary Major League Baseball pitcher Gaylord Perry. What the fuck is Gaylord Perry doing here at this show at the Omni? I have no fucking clue. I don't know if he was playing for the Braves at the time.
Or was he checking out the Braves? Were they maybe courting him or?
Well, this was early 86. I don't know if he was like a free agent at the time. Maybe he was scouting the Atlanta area. So let me go to the mobile version of Wikipedia here on my iPhone real quick. Okay, Gaylord Perry. No, actually, Gaylord Perry, Dean, would have retired in 1983. So let me go through all the teams he played in his career. 62 to 71 with San Francisco. 72 to 75 with Cleveland. 75 to 77 with the Texas Rangers. 78 to 79 with the San Diego Padres. Spent 80 with the Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees. 81 with Atlanta. The Mariners in 82 and 83. And the Royals midway through the 83 season in a trade. Two-time Cy Young winner in 72 and 78. And was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1991 with 77.2%. All right, so let's go to Tony and Gaylord Perry.
What a great night it's been so far here on Superstars on the Superstation. And we've had legends here like Willie Nelson, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. We have another legend in the world of baseball. I'm very happy to have with me Gaylord Perry. In 1982, Gaylord Perry became the 15th man to win 300 games as a career as a pitcher. And also, he is third on the all-time strikeout list. Great night, Gaylord. Good to have you with us.
Oh, yeah, the 15th man to be on the 300 wins list. But how many matches did he have at the Tokyo Dome, Tony? How many five-star matches did Gaylord Perry have at the Tokyo Dome? Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. It's a lot of action down here, I tell you that. The tag teams, they just put on a great show. They really did. It was some great entertainment, and it's good to get down here, and I'm going to check in with the Atlanta Braves tomorrow, just see how they're going to be. You know, they start March 15th is the first game that will be on TV. And the season open comes April 8th. They'll be playing the Philadelphia Phillies. And I do want to wish the Atlanta Braves the best of luck, especially Bobby Cox and Chuck Tanner and my buddy Rick Kemp.
Well, of course, all of that will be right here on the Superstation. And from Eastern North Carolina. You made it to the big leagues, the big time. A lot of these wrestlers wrestle around the entire country, and you know how it is to have to stay in shape and have to be on the top of your game at all times.
I surely do. I know it takes a great deal, and they do this all year. At least when I played, I had 3 months off. I could rest up, but they do it around 350 times a year, I understand.
Okay, we still have Ric Flair, the world heavyweight champion, coming up against Ron Garvin. And as you know and all the fans know, Ric Flair is quite a champion. He's the champion of the world, and that's quite a position to have.
Yes, it is, and I'm sure he's worked very hard at it, and I know he'll be out there defending that title tonight and want to keep it.
Okay, Gaylord, thank you very much for stopping by. Always a pleasure having you with us here on the Superstation.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, one thing Gaylord Perry mentioned, and that was interesting, because he mentioned Bobby Cox, and I remember Bobby Cox was managing the Blue Jays in '85, because if you remember, the Blue Jays won the AL East in '85, and they went to the ALCS. They had a 3-1 lead in that series, where prior to the '85 ALCS, the League Championship Series was a best of 5. That old system, they would have gone to the World Series, but because it was a best of 7, they lost 3 straight games, 5, 6, and 7 to Kansas City. Kansas City went to the World Series and beat the Cardinals for it. I think he was working. He left the Blue Jays after that and went to the front office. I guess maybe he got a GM role, I think, if I remember correctly. I think he went to the front office in Atlanta after he left the Blue Jays and then returned to the manager's position in '90.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we all know what happened with Bobby Cox as the '90s went on with Atlanta's success.
Yep.
Okay, so we have our main event of the show coming up between Ric Flair and Ronnie Garvin. So let me get to the ring introductions right here. Oh, and we get to see clips of that introduction for Rick, and he's got a glorious yellow. It's the lion robe.
Oh,
yes, he brought the lion robe with him for this match. Great. Fucking love the lion robe Rick had. All right, let's get to Dr. Tom Miller for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next event of the evening, a one-fall match. The duration is the TV time remaining for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first in the corner to my right, the challenger from right here in Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 232 pounds, Ron Garvin. And now, the World's Heavyweight Champion from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in at 241 pounds, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Okay, so let's go to it. It's Rick and Ronnie for the NWA's World Heavyweight Championship. So, as Dr. Tom Miller said, Dane, TV time remaining. So let me go the time code. How much we got left? Let's see, 1:20:45. It's 1:44:55. So, we got 16 minutes left, Dane.
Oh, okay. That's very fortunate that not the other 2 matches didn't go to full 20.
Yeah. So here we go. Let's go to Scott. This is TV time remaining, which isn't much. Oddly enough, at this point, Garvin would have been a fine contender to actually win the belt, as opposed to just a year later when he got it and it sunk the territory. Ron immediately comes in throwing lever, and Flair runs away and thinks it over. Back in, Garvin grabs a headlock, so Flair throws the chops at him, and Garvin fires right back to trigger a Flair flop. Garvin just wears him out with more chops, and it hurts watching it, and that gets 2. Flair goes back to his own chops, and Garvin just beats the stuffing out of him in the corner. Then chokes him out and plays Got Your Nose in a much meaner fashion than most people would do with their children. Oh, my God. Man, if anyone could have turned Slaughter's Atomic Noogie into a deadly finisher, it was Garvin. More chops, and he backdrops Flair out of the corner and calmly stomps Flair's hand on the mat. Solid plan. Flair tries to throw forearms, so Garvin just nails him again, and Flair tumbles to the floor on the cell back in. Garvin keeps whacking at the chest and goes to work on the arm now, but Flair escapes with more chops. This finally slows Garvin down and Flair tosses him. So Ron comes back in and now he's pissed. More chops in the corner and Flair ragdolls over the top rope. Where the hell was this Ron Garvin when it came time to win the damn title? Yeah, that's what I want to know, Scott.
Yeah.
Back in Garvin with a sleeper, but Flair escapes with a backdrop suplex and double stomps the gut to take over. Suplex gets 2. Knee drop gets 2. Flair tries to choke out Garvin for some stupid reason, and Ron sits up like the Undertaker and just repeatedly punches him in the face for 2. They trade more chops, and you know how that goes for Flair. And Garvin gets 2. Roddy switches up and beats on him with headbutts in the corner, then adds a suplex for 2. They do a pinfall reversal sequence, and Garvin gets the backslide for 2, and follows with a crossbody for 2. Back to the corner for more chops as Garvin just beats on the poor guy mercilessly. And it's a Flair flip into a double axe hit. But Ron catches him with a small package coming down for 2. Flair chops him down for 2. He stops to yell at Tommy Young, and Garvin gets a roll-up. But Young is bumped during Flair's argument and can't count. Hands of stone, no ref. Garvin retrieves the ref, but Flair knees him in the back and puts his feet on the ropes for the pin to retain at 14:42 as we run out of time. Fuck yeah, this match ruled 4 stars.
I can see why this was on the Hidden Gems, because this was a hidden gem of a match.
Oh, yes, it was an incredible matchup.
And coming from someone who only knew Rugged Ronnie from his WWF run there with Greg Valentine, this was phenomenal too. So how much did he drop off between here and when he gets his actual title win?
Oh, that'd be something to see if go through the canon from this to fall of 87.
Yeah.
But you know what, Dane? I'm going to give you 3 words when you go on YouTube. Search Ron Garvin, Miss Atlanta Lively. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, and you're going to be surprised, Dane.
I will look that up.
Okay, so let's go back to Magnum here to close this out.
We've certainly seen a lot of exciting wrestling right here tonight, and I know Linda's just as excited about all of it as I've been, but we've got to go for now. So for Linda Curry and Magnum TA and the Superstation, I'd like to say good night.
Good night.
Oh, okay, so we got the credits here to close this out. Okay, so let's go through the credits. Executive producer, Jim Crockett Jr. Senior producer, Virgil Runnels. Virgil Runnels?
What kind of name is that?
You think he likes to go to the Olive Garden too, Dane?
Yeah.
Producer, David Crockett. Associate producers, Wayne P. Daniels and Tommy P. Edwards. Director is Tommy P. Edwards. The technical director is Rick Rayford. Electronic graphics, Alice Arf, or Eef, or whatever.
Arif.
Oh, Arif, okay.
Yeah.
This is the same guy that you're speaking to who said Duke Musekian's name was Duke Muskian. So the F do I know. I pronounce names as they're spelled unless I have a pronunciation guide. Engineer in charge, Jeff Hall. The engineer in charge of Nemo, Emerson Lawson. So you think he was in charge of finding Nemo, Dane?
I'm hoping so, because did he ever find Nemo?
I hope he did.
Yeah.
Lighting, Audio Unlimited. The camera, Homer Aycock, Fred Barley, Rich Brooks, Tommy Jones, Hal Kicklighter, Ricky Lassiter, Kevin Pally, Steve Shepard, Ron Sutton, Doug Dillinger, Jack Crockett, and Skeeter Brawley. Oh, so did Doug Dillinger actually do his job for once, running the camera?
Hopefully, maybe. Well, Skeeter Brawley sounds like almost like a good enhancement talent worker's name.
Oh. Camera video, Jim Reeves. Audio, Terry Posber, Charles Humbird, and Ken Lillard. Videotape, Scott Morks, Frank Wimberly, and John McCabe. Associate directors are Rob Wheeler and Foy Goodwin. The production assistant for Nemo is Tressie Eaker. Crew chief, Josh Morks. Floor managers, Tim Spiff and Steve Dyer. The Grips, Stephen Aycock. Tex Fay, Len Hambrick, Stephen Harper, Barry Shirley, Roderick Stovall, and Craig Wood. Did you have a prime minister in Canada named Stephen Harper, Dane?
Yes, we did.
You think it's that Stephen Harper?
Sadly, no.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I remember, wasn't it like, I think it was like right before like he got voted out. I want to say it was like John Oliver played something about it, but I said to you, is this guy like really this nuts?
Well, basically, he now runs here in countries like Hungary and Romania, where you had the far-right governments being elected. You have to thank Stephen Harper for that.
Oh, fuck that guy. Oh, God.
Yep.
Okay, so stage managers Todd Lewis and Dean Sondecker.
Yeah, Dean Sondecker.
Yeah. Okay, World Championship Wrestling. Copyright 1986. Turner Broadcasting System, Inc. Okay, so that's Superstars on the Superstation. So, what are our final thoughts about this?
This was a fine show to watch. You had the fantastic Midnight's Rock and Roll Express there, kicking off their years-long feud of putting on great matches. Road Warriors and the Russians, I'd like to see more of it, even though that match itself was kind of meh. Dusty and Tully was also kind of all right for what it was, and wish we got more of that Ronnie Garvin that we saw in the main event there with Rick.
Yeah, in about late 87 or so.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think this was a very good special event for TBS. So we had fun with this, and that's all we could ask for this era of Jim Crockett Promotions.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in our next episode, Dane, we're going to get a little Raw, and we're going to get a little Extreme.
Ooh.
Yeah, because Jerry the King Lawler has issued a challenge. And you know who's going to accept this challenge, Dane, as Raw makes its return to the Manhattan Center in February of 1997?
The current occupants of the Manhattan Center, or they have used it a few times for their shows.
Oh, that's right. Paul Heyman and ECW are coming to Monday Night Raw.
Wow. Yeah, the beginning of the first ECW WWF cooperation project.
Oh, yes. And I got to say, Dane, we'll talk about it more in the next episode, but I'll say this. As someone who only knew of ECW through the magazines and everything, seeing these guys actually on television was like, oh my God, this is so great.
Yeah, and coming from someone who knew nothing of ECW at all, other than just seeing, you'd see all of a sudden people holding these ECW signs up there and like, what? What's going on? What if it's ECW guy? There's no one in the Fed without those initials.
What is this ECW thing?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out next episode as we get Extreme at the Manhattan Center in February of 1997 on Monday Night Raw. And that's coming next time right here on the Squared Circle Time Machine. That was Dade. And I'm Greg, and we'll see you with that episode next time. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Ric Flair, Ron Garvin, what a classic battle we have seen right here on the Superstation. And what we just saw, knocking a man out not once, but twice. Definitely, you want that title, still want that World Heavyweight title.
Well, Tony, I'm not a quitter. First of all, before I go any further, I'd like to say thank you for the cards and letters. I can't answer all of them, but I try to do my best. And I'm proud to be an American. It's a great feeling, and I'm going to tell you, Ric Flair, if you think for a second that I'm going to quit, well, you got another thing coming because I am not a quitter. You know, you lose a ball game, you don't hang it up and quit. No, you try harder. That's exactly what Ronnie Garvin's going to do. I'm just going to try harder and harder and until I get it. You see, because sooner or later, Ric Flair, you're running out of steam, see? I don't know if you're running on regular or unleaded or what. Or whatever, you better add some booster to it because you're slowing down, and slowly and gradually I'm going to get you. You see, it don't matter where, if it's in Cleveland, Ohio, if it's in San Francisco, if it's in New York, if it's right here in Atlanta, it don't matter. You see, because I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's where you're at the end of that tunnel, and I'm coming. You see, you can say I talk about Space Mountain. Yeah. Well, the next time I'm going to wrestle him, he better tell the people that after you wrestle me next time, Space Mountain's going to be shut down. It's going to be closed for the night. Because you see, I got one weapon. You got the figure four. I've got a punch. And I got a lot more than that. See, I got a lot of wrestling ability. And I've got a lot of people behind me. And believe it or not, it makes a big difference. When you stand in that ring and you got 10,000 people cheering you on, go Garvin, go. You see, that inspires me. And I appreciate all the support the fans give me. Because I know I need it. But I'm doing it for myself also. Because my dream is going to come true. And the only way you make a dream come true is you keep going after it until you get it. And 1986 is the year Ric Flair, Slick Rick, is going down. So is Space Mountain.
Okay, Ron Garvin says 1986 is it for Ric Flair.